If your Windows looks just like this after you started your PC with a super high RAM usage, a high amount of processors, and overall it's just really slow, I'm going to show you how you can fully optimize your Windows for gaming in 2025. Not only showing you how to update your BIOS, fully remove all the bloatware from your system, but also the best Nvidia settings for gaming and a whole bunch of other stuff which is going to improve the performance. But before we do any of this, please make sure guys that you updated your Windows. Because if you update your Windows after you apply all of these tweaks, some of these settings might again be set to default, so therefore please update it prior. But before we start, let's check out no ping. Are you tired of having high ping in Fortnite and you wonder how all your favorite Fortnite pros always seem to have zero delay? What you need for that is no ping guys. Your number one client to reduce your ping in every single game you guys want to play. Let's say you want to play Fortnite, you just search it up, select it, and no ping is gonna give you an overview of all of the best servers available in your near. And the coolest part is it works on multiple regions. So if you like to play cash cap on a different region, it can still help you to get the best server. So just select the server you want to use, click on to optimize this game, and no ping is gonna automatically help you to get the best connection possible. Additionally, they also feature some FPS boost features, and they are all tested tweaks which are going to help you to improve your system speed. Make sure to check out no ping with the link in the video description. In the first step, we're going to completely focus on removing Microsoft Edge and all of the processors as well as OneDrive from your PC. So many people have no clue that even if you use Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge is still running in the background, and it takes almost 144 MB of your RAM. Especially if you're on 4 to 16 gigs of RAM systems, 144 MB of RAM losing just like that sounds pretty bad to me. So what we're going to use is a program called Wise Cleaner, and that one you can find from the link in the video description. All you gotta do is go to the main website, and from there on you can get it. Once you get the setup installer on your desktop, you're just simply going to launch it, click under install, and accept all the agreements. It's then going to install on your PC, and all you gotta do is only check launch Wise program uninstaller and click under OK. Then once it's fully loaded up, you can already see on the left side desktop applications, metro apps, and a lot of more. And under desktop apps, we already have Microsoft Edge on the top. Then you can see force install on the right side, and this is what we're going to click on guys, because that way it's going to analyze every single component of Microsoft Edge on your PC and fully make sure that everything gets removed guys. This is amazing. As you can see, it's gonna find completely everything on your PC. Just simply click under remove, and then Microsoft Edge is completely uninstalled from your PC. Normally you cannot do this even in Windows because you know it's like the main standard browser. But since we use something else like Google Chrome or whatever, we're gonna do this, and the same with Microsoft OneDrive. I never used OneDrive directly from my PC, and it's as well running 24/7 in the background. So again, the same thing, select it, go under force uninstall, it's going to find everything which is somehow allocated on your PC, and all you gotta do is click under remove. Then you're going to wait a little bit, and it's gonna be fully uninstalled as well from your PC, and just like that, we freed up 150-160 MB of RAM, which is pretty good in my opinion already. Then we're going to click under Metro apps, and there we're going to continue. Next up, we have the Xbox app, which I really also don't use on my PC, so we're going to just simply go through this list, and everything where you say, hey, I don't need it on my PC, make sure that you uninstall it from here. This is the best way, since we have safe uninstall and force uninstall, so that you can actually remove everything. Something like Microsoft Teams, never really used on my PC, I can easily completely uninstall it. The same as well with Quick Assist. Then we have something like Phone Link, also never used it. You know, these are all small processes just running in the background, costing you a little bit MB of RAM. And the same as well with the game bar. I use OBS for recordings if I go for some clips or whatever, so therefore I can fully uninstall it as well. Everything which is somehow linked to Xbox also has an insanely large use of RAM. Guys, I'm talking about a ton of RAM which you can free up just like that. I mean, these are all running in the background. So therefore you can follow the list as I'm doing it here right now in the background. Just simply uninstalling everything on a fresh Windows version, which I don't need. Something like Microsoft 365 Office, also don't need it. Then the main Xbox app itself, also completely uninstalling it. The weather application. Next up, you can also go under browser extensions, and they can still see a little bit left here from Microsoft Edge. So what we're going to do is click under browser extensions, then we can see Microsoft Edge, and we're going to click onto the small delete button. The same as well for Internet Explorer. For whatever reason, this is all still in even Windows 11 in the latest build. Once you're done, you're going to close the tool, and you're good to go with this first step. The next step might actually be one of the most important ones out of this whole entire guide. There's so many people out there who are playing with an outdated BIOS, and this can cause so many problems. You can get FPS drops, micro freezes, additional latency, and more and more. A friend of mine literally built a PC with an Intel Core i7 13th gen and an RTX 4080, and he was having FPS drops after drops until we figured out that he actually didn't update his BIOS, which means he literally had high-end specs until now, but he was still rocking the same motherboard drivers from 2022, which means over all these years with different software and new games which are optimized for current software, he was still rocking these old drivers, which were causing his game to stutter and even crash sometimes. So therefore guys, please always make sure that you update your BIOS. That is super important. And what you gotta do in the first place guys is press Windows key plus R until this small run window actually pops up, and then all you gotta do is type in msinfo32. That way you open up the system information, and then all you gotta do is look for your mainboard and the system model. For me, it's a Z790 Gaming XAX. So what I did with that information is I basically went on Google and typed in my exact mainboard. Then I already found it here, Z790 Gaming XAX supported motherboard. You just simply click onto it, and then all you guys gotta do is put, of course, the OS to whatever you're rocking right now, which might be Windows 10 or Windows 11, and then all you gotta do is find BIOS. And there you can see there are actually some pretty recent updates from like September 27, 2024. That's pretty recent for a BIOS update. So I of course got the latest version, and all you need for this step guys additionally is a USB drive. That is everything. It doesn't have to be a huge drive. As you can see, this is only like a 10-20 Mbit file, really depending on which motherboard. And after the download was finished and you plugged in the new USB, all you have to do is open up the current file which you just downloaded, and then most of the time there's a F11 file in there. It's gonna be called exactly like the mainboard, and it's the largest file in the whole entire folder. You cannot really miss it, and all you have to do is just simply paste it onto that USB stick. And now all we have to do is get into our boot menu. And once you're done in your BIOS, it's gonna be on default usually on easy mode. You don't want to be in the advanced one guys, because on easy you can directly see now Q flash, and this is what you're going to look for. If you cannot find this directly in your BIOS, just simply search up your motherboard with the term Q flash and you're gonna find it. And we're gonna go into it. We can then see on the left side our current motherboard, our current BIOS version, from when the update is and all of that. And what you want to do is click here onto update BIOS, as it says here on the top. It might look a little bit different for you guys, really depending on which motherboard you have. And then all you gotta do is select the current file from your USB stick. It should be here now on the right side. Then we're gonna click onto a small arrow, and it's gonna ask you update BIOS. Are you sure you want to update your BIOS? And we're going to click under yes. You can then see verifying files and all of that, and then all you gotta do is press to start, and it's going to automatically update your BIOS. For me, you can see I already have the latest version, so I'm actually not gonna do it here, but this is the whole process. Next up, we're gonna do some core Windows settings. So open up your settings, and then we're gonna head over to personalization. Then the first tab you can see background. We're going to click onto it, and once you're in here you can then see personalize your background, and you can put it from picture actually to solid color, which is gonna make it look super boring, I would say. But of course it's gonna slightly increase your performance since there are no animations going on in the background. Personally for me, I still keep it on the picture or whatever background I'm using, but it is an option. But next up, you're gonna go back and go into colors, and they can see transparency effects. That one makes windows and surfaces appear translucent, as it says in the description, which again is a pretty demanding mode. So therefore for me personally, I always keep it off. It doesn't really make a huge difference in terms of visuals for me. We're gonna go back again, and then you're gonna find actually something which is gonna be called taskbar. And in here you can fully disable widgets, which are pretty annoying in my opinion, so therefore I fully disable them as well. I don't really want to let them run in the background. And next up, we're gonna click on the applications on the left side until we can see installed apps. And in here once again you can go through this whole entire list and make sure to uninstall everything which you don't need on your PC. There are just a few more applications than in the Wise uninstaller, so therefore yeah, just check it out and see for yourself if there's something where you know for a fact that you don't need it. Then we're gonna go back and under advanced app settings. Once you're in here, you can then see share across devices. As it says in the description, continue app experiences on other devices. I don't really utilize this, again an unnecessary process, so therefore turn it off. The same as well with archive apps. I'm also turning it completely off, and then we're already good to go with here as well. And next up, we can as well check out offline maps. These here you can also fully disable. As you can see, I already did that. Next up, we're gonna head over to the gaming section on the bottom. Once you're in here, you can then again see the game bar, where we already uninstalled a huge chunk of it, but we're also gonna disable it in here just to make sure that it doesn't get reapplied. We're also going to click on the graphics, and in here are some of the most important modes. optimize for windowed games. That one is super important, guys. You want to make sure that this one is turned on. And under advanced graphics, you can see hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. That one is by far the most important mode which every single Windows user should turn on. And why this is important is quite easy. It shifts frame buffering from CPU over to your GPU. Or in other words, your CPU kinda queues up all the frames which then need to get rendered by your GPU, and you can actually improve this process by enabling hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, since it enables your GPU to not only queue up frames but also render them. If you play CPU heavy games, this is definitely a good thing, since you're taking away a little bit of the load of your CPU. That's all you kinda need to know about it. But it's definitely something which I would recommend for most large-scale battle royale games, which are the main ones which I'm playing right now. Then once we go one back to display, we can actually then see scale and layout, and my scale is set to 100% recommended. And of course your display resolution on the highest one which your monitor can output if you are not playing on a stretch resolution. So therefore do that, and then again go to advanced display, where you can also select the highest monitor refresh rate. I see so many people who are not playing on their fullest, so please just double check that. And for this next step, guys, we're also going to take a look at the power settings. So what you're going to do is type in power plan to your Windows search bar until you can see edit power plan and open it up. Here on top, you're then going to click under power options. And then you can see my current one is actually balanced, which is pretty bad. You don't want this. So what I'm going to do is open up the hidden additional plans, and there you can see high performance. So many people lose so much performance in all games because they still keep it on balance or power saver or any of these. And usually if you have a little bit weaker CPU, high performance is already okay, but there's actually another one which is called ultimate performance. And how you get this one, you just simply go on Google and type in the ultimate performance power plan command, and then you can straight up copy it from Google. It's not super hard, just simply copy it, then go back onto your desktop, and then all you gotta do is go into your Windows search bar and type in there CMD until you can see command prompt, right click and run it as administrator. Once a new window opens up, you're going to paste in the following command which you just got from the website and press enter. Then you can see the ultimate performance mode is enabled. So what we're going to do now is close the window, go back into our power options, go maybe one back in the menu and then again back into power options so it gets refreshed, and then you can already see the ultimate performance mode on the bottom. Provides ultimate performance on higher end PCs. And this one I would highly recommend you only for CPUs with 4 cores or more. So therefore, if you have any up-to-date or somehow up-to-date CPU from the last couple of years, definitely utilize this one. You can try out both high and ultimate performance and see what works better, but for most of you out there who have a capable gaming PC, definitely ultimate performance is a lot better. Additionally, you're also going to click under change plan settings. Then you're going to see on the top turn off display, and for me usually I keep this on 1 hour, or you can also put it on never. And put the computer to sleep I also keep on never. But what we're now going to do, guys, is also click under change advanced power setting. And in here now you can find a bunch more settings which I just want to cover real quick. The first one would be USB settings. USB selective suspended setting, and this one here you're going to open up, guys. And then you can see it's right now on enabled. And this one you want to put on disabled actually. Process power management, minimum processor state, you're going to keep on 100%. And the same as well with the maximum one, guys. This is exactly what the ultimate performance mode does, making sure that you always utilize the most out of your CPU. Now under PCI Express link state power management, you're going to keep this setting actually on off. Not moderate power saving or maximum, you're gonna keep it on off. And next up we have wireless adapter settings. This one you're also going to open up. There it says now power saving mode, and this one you're going to keep on maximum performance. Not power saving or anything like that, just maximum performance, and click under OK and you're good to go with this one as well. This is going to highly increase the performance of your overall PC, especially while gaming. Now for this next step, I want you to open up your task manager, and if you go under CPU and see that you have a ton of processes under there, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix this, because a ton of processes also equal a high memory usage. First of all, click on the startup and make sure that you disable everything which you don't need every single time your PC launches. That is super important, because once you launch them accidentally, they're staying in the background and they're just super hardware demanding. Once you're done with that, you're gonna open up your browser and just simply go on Google and type in the Chris Titus Tech Utility. And then once you get it, just simply click under the first link until you are on the official website, the Ultimate Windows Utility. You're going to scroll down a little bit and then you can see one comment and you're going to copy it. Once you're done with that, go into the Windows search bar and type in that PowerShell. Make sure that you launch just simply PowerShell. Nothing else besides that, guys. Just simply PowerShell, right click onto it and run it as administrator. Once the window opens then up, guys, you're going to paste in the following command which you just got from the website. Then you gotta press enter, and just simply wait for the utility to start. This is the nice part about it. You don't have to get anything from the internet. It's going to do everything automatically. Once we end the utility, we're going to click under the tweaks section. And there we now have recommended settings, which are standard, where you can see a whole bunch of settings are selected, or minimal, which is kind of like the light version of it. But I would highly recommend you the standard version. It basically deletes a bunch of unnecessary services. And the best part about it is it automatically creates a restore point, so therefore you don't have to be worried. You can also hover over everything and it gives you a small detailed description of what it does, but all these services are really safe to deactivate just to speed up your Windows since there's so much bloatware. But before we do that, we scroll down and actually run O&O Setup 10. This one basically disables a bunch of privacy settings where Microsoft or Windows Better Set is just collecting even more data of your PC. And what we're gonna do is click under Actions and apply only recommended settings. It's gonna ask you again, do you want to do a restore point? Of course, then you can see 109 settings have been applied. So therefore, just simply click under OK and you can see a whole bunch of these services are disabled, which is also going to speed up your PC. Then we're gonna go back into the Chris Titus Tech utility and make sure that we click under Run Tweaks. And now once you check in the PowerShell itself, guys, you can see it's gonna create first of all a restore point and then apply all of the tweaks in the background. Of course, depending on your system speed, it's maybe going to take a little bit longer or shorter, but don't be worried there, guys, just simply let it run in the background and the utility is gonna do everything for you. As mentioned, you have a restore point, so therefore don't be worried. If something happens, you can just simply go back to the restore point and your Windows is just like before applying these tweaks. And once it's done, guys, it's gonna say tweaks are finished and all you have to do is basically close the window itself. It's also going to show you that some volume on your main drive is also freed up. And now just simply restart your PC. And now once I restarted my PC, guys, you can see it's only down to 72 processors and 2.6 gigs of RAM usage. That is such a huge difference to what we had in the beginning. So therefore debloating is really the best way to speed up your PC. And yeah, I mean, we have so much more RAM which we can use for anything else. I mean, this is just a Windows 9 idle. And now for this next step, I'm about to show you the best Nvidia control panel settings for gaming in 2025. First of all, open up the Nvidia control panel, of course, guys. And once we're now in here, we're going to take a quick look at the top left where it says Adjust Image Settings with Preview. Just simply click onto it. And here you want to make sure that you use the advanced 3D image settings, guys, and click under Take Me There. Now I'm about to show you the best settings right now here, guys, so that you can copy them straight up. Image scaling should be turned off. Ambient occlusion turned off. Anti-strophic filtering on application control. Anti-aliasing FXAA you're going to keep on off. Gamma correction on. Anti-aliasing mode on application controlled. Anti-aliasing transparency on off. And background application maximum frame rate on off as well. CUDA GPUs, there you're just simply gonna select your main GPU of your PC if you have integrated graphics as well. Now DSR factors is kinda cool, especially if you play single player games, because you can upscale your native resolution of your monitor. Like for me, there's a 1080p monitor, but I can go up all the way even to 4K, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So therefore, I selected two of these settings here. You can select whatever you guys want to play on. Of course, the higher the pixels are, the more demanding it's going to be. So for me, I only have two options here actually applied, and the smoothness factor you're going to leave on 33%, which is the native setting. Then for the low latency mode, guys, so many pros are arguing which one is better, on or ultra, but actually many tests have shown that on is the best option in here. So therefore you want to use the low latency mode on. Maximum frame rate, this one is also kind of interesting because you can lock your FPS just a little bit over your average, you know, to prevent thermal throttling, that your PC doesn't unnecessarily produce like super high FPS even though your monitor cannot showcase it and it's overheating. Kind of a cool feature. For me personally, I keep it on off, but you can experiment around with it. Multi-frame sampled AA, you're going to keep on off. OpenGL GDI compatibility, you're going to leave on automatic. OpenGL rendered GPU, of course, on your main one again, which for me is an RTX 4090. Power management mode, of course, on prefer maximum performance. Preferred refresh rate, of course, on the highest available. You don't want to leave this on application control, just straight up the highest available. And shader cache size, I leave on 10 gigs. But actually, guys, what I would recommend you is to go from time to time into your Windows search bar and just simply type in the temporary files. Once you're going to do that, go into temporary files on the top, and you want to make sure that everything is unchecked except DirectX shader cache. And shader cache are basically data which get created to kind of speed up applications and especially games and load times, you know, to hop into games faster. But especially with a new season or a new update, these can be corrupted. So therefore, from time to time, you want to actually delete them so they get recreated. It even says in the description, don't be worried that they get recreated. And it might take 1 or 2 games, but then afterwards it's gonna run a lot better. Then for anti-strophic sample optimization, you're gonna leave it on. That one actually helps with performance. LOD bias, you're going to leave just simply on allow, since we're not changing the level of detail directly. Then the texture filter and quality you're going to leave on high performance. Then trilinear optimization on again. Then for threaded optimization, just simply leave it on. All the games which are released, especially nowadays, are super good with basically deciding how many cores and threads they need. Unless you're maybe playing something like CS2, you know, which is running on Source 2, there you maybe want to apply a launch option, but for most games just simply keep it on auto. Triple buffering and vertical sync both completely turned off, unless you're maybe playing on 60 or 75 Hz with a ton of screen tearing. That could potentially help, but all you want to do is just simply keep it on off and then just simply click under apply. Next up, we want to go under change resolution, and there again you want to select your main monitor, go into the maximum supported resolution, and please put it again on the highest refresh rate. So many people who are missing out there. Then we're gonna go under adjust desktop color settings, select your main monitor, and what you can do is actually turn up the digital vibrance to plus 75% to make your overall screen look a lot nicer, guys. To boost this effect as well, go to adjust video color settings, select your monitor again, go with Nvidia settings, and put your saturation to plus 75% as well. That way your games are gonna look amazing. Next up, guys, I want to talk about something very important as well, which can drastically improve the performance of your Windows PC. As you can see, if I'm right now taking a look at my task manager, my RAM is actually only running at 4800 MHz. But I know for a fact that the RAM which I'm using is DDR5 7200. So I'm actually missing out on a ton of performance, which might be the case for a bunch of you, especially if you have a pre-built PC. So I'm gonna show you how you can utilize the maximum, which is called using an XMP profile. And what I want you to do in the first place, guys, is please make sure to check which RAM you guys are using. So therefore, maybe take out a stick of RAM from your PC. And once you take a look here right now, this stick is DDR5 with 6000 MHz and CL32383896. You have to remember the number before, which is the maximum hertz your RAM can do, which for this one is, as mentioned, 6000, and then the 4 numbers after CL. Those you need to remember before we go into the BIOS. So you need to again go into your boot menu, which for me right now here is F12, guys. And once you're in your BIOS again, this is exactly how it's going to look like. And this time we actually want to go for the advanced mode, guys. It's going to be called advanced or extra or however, really depending on your manufacturer. For me, since I'm using a Gigabyte mainboard, this is exactly how it's going to look like. And once you're not in here, you're gonna go under tweaker, yeah? It's gonna be called advanced or tweaker, something like that. And in here now, we're going to search for the RAM section. You can see already DDR5 auto booster, high bandwidth, low latency, and something which is called DDR5 XMP booster. For you, it might not be called DDR5, but DDR4, really depending on which RAM you have again. But all you gotta look for is XMP. I'm going to double click onto it, and now I can see a whole entire list here of all the different XMP profiles. And for you, this might be super confusing, but don't be worried, because I know for a fact that my RAM is actually from Corsair, and the actual profile itself is called Hynix. So I know I only have to look for Hynix in this huge list here. I don't have to care about Micron or all the other ones. I think there's also Samsung here. All I have to care about is Hynix. And now, since I checked the exact timings of my RAM, I can look now for 7200 MHz, and I need a 36, 46, 46 and 116 one. If I check the other 7200 profiles, you can see it starts with 48, 42, but all I care about is the 36 one, which is right here. And I know it says 36, 46, 46 and 115, but there's always like a small difference of like 1 unit, so therefore this is going to be the closest one to 116, you know? So therefore this is definitely the one which I need. Because as you can see, there's also one above, but it only goes to 6800 MHz. But I know for a fact, because of the packaging and the RAM which I bought, that it goes secured up to 7200. So I'm going to select this profile here. Make sure to press enter to select it fully. Double check again if it's the right numbers, 36, 46, 46 and 116, which as mentioned, 1 unit off is totally fine. And now all I'm going to do is click under save and exit on the top, and now again save and exit setup. Then it's going to ask me, do you really want to save the configuration? I'm going to click under yes and wait for my PC to fully restart. And now you can see, guys, we're running it at 7200 MHz, which is an insane performance increase. I mean, from 4800 to 7200 is definitely a nice benefit. I mean, you're just making sure that you're actually getting what you're paying for. And especially in fast-paced games and applications like Adobe Premiere Pro, this can make a huge performance difference.